Welcome to Inside the Studio with Greg Worth, and today I want to talk about Overloud's EQ84 plugin. It's essentially a Neve 1084 on steroids. I want to just give you an overview and my opinion on the plugin, and I'll give you a little bit of examples. So to start, let me explain the interface. From left to right, you have the typical mic line control here, which if you're familiar with Neve modules, this is kind of a standard thing. What's really cool about this is that this basically emulates the transformer saturation going on. So you can essentially get more saturation going, driving it into mic. You can kind of tweak that, and then you can back off the output here if you want to get more saturation. Here's the top band. It goes from 10 to 16 hertz, and it's a shelving. And these two middle bands are identical. If you see, they have the same frequencies, which is really cool. It's nice to kind of have that overlap. And you can change it from high Q or a wider bandwidth. And then you have the low end here, which is a shelving. And then you have high and low pass filters, a phase switch, overall engage switch here, and an output. And what's unique about this plugin that I think is really cool, you can individually bypass or engage each band, and you can also solo the band. So you can really cue into what you're trying to listen to as far as frequencies, whether you want to find the nice resonant peak or you want to find the offending frequency that you want to cut out. Real quick, what I should mention is a lot of people ask, what EQ should I use for a particular application? And the first thing you should ask yourself is, what are you trying to do? Do you want to impart coloration onto the track? Do you want to change its characteristic? Or do you want to transparently correct something or whatnot? So if the answer is you want to transparently do something to a track, you don't want to use this plugin because this adds color. If you want to impart some character and whatnot to the track, this kind of EQ is definitely what you want to go for. In this example, I'm just going to show it on some drums, but this song was recorded live, so there's a lot of leakage. Let's give it a try.
My head, I dream of life. In 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 my head, in my head, in my head, I dream of life. In my head, I dream of life.
Okay, so as you can see, I just was kind of hunting and looking for things. I found around 110 hertz was kind of like a sweet spot for the low end. Depending on the speakers, if you got subwoofers or whatnot, maybe the 60 would kind of pull something you're looking for, but just an example. Around 350 hertz, I found I wanted to do a little cut there, and then I wanted to boost between 1.6 and 3K just to get a little snap on the attack of the snare and the claps, and then just add a little bit of top end sizzle there. And I also filtered out some low lows around maybe 50 hertz or so. Now let me play it. I'll bypass it and then engage it, and we can kind of hear. I tried to make it a little more drastic just so that you can hear an example. So let's check that out. So it's by far from perfect, but it's an example of showing you how you can kind of use this to shape the sound and add a little more character. What are my thoughts about this plugin? I think it's great. I really love the 1084 style EQ, especially a little more than the 1073, which essentially it's the same EQ, but the top end, you have some more frequency selects. And I really like what Overloud did here was that they kind of took that topology and overall sound, but they gave you a modern functionality, which means, instead of having a switched frequency set on each band, you can kind of continuously sweep between 10 to 16 and not have to settle. Also, they added this extremely useful Q button, which, as you heard, it's awesome. You can kind of find the frequencies you're looking for and go for it. The high and low filters, of course, Neve is famous for that. It's great. What don't I like? It's not a big deal, but since it's continuously variable here and it just goes 0 to 16, I wish there was some sort of indicator that showed me where I was at. You know what I mean? Especially if I want to match settings or whatnot. So that's one thing that I would probably add. It's a really versatile EQ. Like I said, if you're not looking for color, you definitely don't want to grab this EQ. But I would use this on pretty much anything: drums, bass, vocals, guitars, keyboards, acoustic guitar, synths. It's just a really sweet sounding EQ. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out my website, and I hope to see you guys next time.